I was standing at my sister-in-law's wedding when someone screamed, "She stole the $12 million diamond!" My husband looked at me and called the cops. I didn't cry. I didn't run. Because I knew when they found that necklace, their world would collapse. Beneath the crystal chandeliers of the Royal Crown Grand Hotel, I stood frozen as hundreds of eyes locked onto me. It felt as if I'd been shoved onto a public stand, branded a criminal before the verdict was even read. My mother-in-law, Gloria Cole, pointed a trembling finger straight at my face, her voice sharp enough to pierce the air. "It's her! That woman! My necklace had to be stolen by her." Felix Cole pulled out his phone without a flicker of emotion. His voice was cold, echoing through the grand hall. "Hello, 911? I'd like to report a theft. Someone stole property from my family." The moment the police appeared at the entrance of the ballroom, my world seemed to collapse. As the icy metal cuffs were about to snap around my wrists, I truly believed my life was over. But no one could have imagined that the very next second, the $12 million diamond necklace would be found on someone so unexpected that it left everyone utterly stunned. In that instant, the entire hall fell into a deathly silence. Every face looked frozen in time. And I finally saw the truth. Behind these 4 years of marriage lay a scheme far more vicious than I'd ever imagined. 01. The Royal Crown Grand Hotel's ballroom had been transformed into something straight out of a fairy tale. It was Luna Cole's wedding day, and every corner of the venue radiated extravagance. Champagne-colored roses blanketed the entire red carpet, and a crystal champagne tower rose nearly 13 feet high. Even the tableware had been custom limited editions flown in from Europe. I stood off to the side, watching Gloria bustle around nonstop, my emotions tangled and bitter. "Hazel, right? Are you just going to stand there spacing out?" Gloria snapped, her shrill voice cutting across the hall. "Hurry up and come help greet the guests." I walked over quickly, forcing a professional smile onto my face. "I'm coming, Mom." "Don't call me that. Sounds fake." Gloria rolled her eyes, disdain dripping from her tone. "Today's Luna's big day. As her sister-in-law, could you at least pretend to care? Or do you just look down on her?" A dull ache settled in my chest. 4 years. No matter how hard I tried, in her eyes I was always the woman who wasn't good enough for her son. "Gloria, look at this." Her close friend Doris walked over, holding a velvet box. "I specially prepared this wedding gift for Luna. Had a friend bring it back from overseas just for her." Gloria cracked the box open and glanced inside, her lips curling with instant disdain. "Oh, Doris, you're too kind. But honestly, this doesn't even come close to what I got her." As she spoke, she pulled an elegant jewelry case from her Hermes handbag. The moment the box opened, it felt as if the entire ballroom lit up. Inside lay a diamond necklace, the center stone as large as a quail egg, surrounded by countless smaller diamonds. Under the crystal lights, it sparkled with blinding brilliance. "My God, how much does that cost?" Doris gasped, her jaw dropping. Gloria lifted her chin smugly, pride unmistakable in her voice. "Not much, just $12 million. I had it specially prepared as Luna's wedding gift. South African blood diamond, 10-carat center stone." A crowd immediately gathered around, voices full of admiration. Gloria really dotes on her daughter. That kind of generosity, you won't see another like it in all of Chicago. It looks absolutely stunning under the lights. Luna really married well, and with a mom like this, she must have earned it in a past life. I stood at the edge of the crowd, watching Gloria soak in the envy, a sour bitterness rising in my chest. 4 years since I married into the Cole family, and I had never seen her put this much care into anything for me. On my wedding day, she hadn't even given me a decent piece of jewelry, only cold stares and endless nitpicking. "Hazel, what are you standing around for?" Gloria suddenly turned to me, her gaze icy. "Go get Luna and let her see the surprise I prepared." "Move it! Don't drag your feet!" I nodded and turned toward the bridal dressing room. Just as I reached the door, I heard Luna's voice from inside. "Iris, do you think Hazel's going to pull something again today? With my mom's personality, she's bound to find trouble with her." "You're worried about her?" Another woman scoffed. "It had to be the bridesmaid, Iris. She's useless. Married into your family for 4 years and still hasn't given you guys a child. No wonder your mom can't stand her. Honestly, your brother should have dumped her ages ago. I stood outside the door, gripping the handle so tightly my knuckles turned white. I'd heard this kind of talk more times than I could count over the past 4 years. Not having a child had become my greatest sin in this family. What none of them knew was that in those 4 years, Felix barely ever came home. If he wasn't working late, he was out entertaining clients. He never even gave me a chance to get pregnant. I took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Luna, your mom wants you outside. I kept my voice as calm as I could. Luna turned around. The moment she saw me, her expression stiffened, but only briefly. She quickly put on her gentle smile again. Oh, Hazel, you didn't even knock before coming in? That's not very polite, is it? I'm sorry, I thought. Forget it. She cut me off and stood up, smoothing down her $300,000 wedding gown. What does my mom want now? Don't tell me she's about to lecture me again. She prepared a special gift for you. Luna's eyes lit up instantly, excitement flashing across her face. Really? What is it? Tell me. I didn't answer. I simply stepped aside and opened the door wider. She hurried out on her 4-inch heels and I followed behind her. For some reason, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong today. The air felt thick, unnaturally so. 02. When Luna saw the $12 million diamond necklace, she let out a scream of pure excitement. Mom, this is insanely beautiful. She clutched the jewelry box, her eyes glittering with undisguised greed. How much does this cost? Oh my God, that diamond is huge. $12 million. Gloria's face was glowing with pride, her voice full of self-satisfaction. You're my only daughter. No matter how expensive it is, I'm willing to give it to you. You're my precious girl. If I could, I'd give you the very best in the world. Luna immediately threw her arms around Gloria, her voice trembling with emotion. Mom, you're too good to me. Being your daughter is the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me. You silly girl, what are you saying? Gloria laughed, patting her back before carefully lifting the necklace from the box. Come on. Let me put it on you so everyone can see how beautiful my girl is. The diamond necklace gleamed against Luna's pale neck. Paired with her $1 million wedding gown, she looked almost unreal. The surrounding guests burst into another wave of admiration. Luna, you look absolutely stunning today, like a princess. That necklace was made for you. Gloria is really generous. $12 million without batting an eye. She must adore her daughter. I stood outside the crowd, watching the mother and daughter embrace. My chest felt tight, as if something were lodged there. We were both women, so why were our fates so different? Hazel? A familiar voice sounded behind me, carrying its usual indifference. I turned around and saw Felix standing a short distance away. He was dressed in a tailored dark gray suit with a blue tie, looking restrained and handsome. But I knew better. It was all just a facade. Felix. I forced a smile. He walked over, his gaze brushing past my face for less than a second before drifting away. Today's Luna's big day. Help out more and don't let Mom worry. I've got an urgent meeting at the office. I'll probably be back late. I nodded, a chill spreading through my chest. Another meeting, another excuse. He always had a reason not to be with me. And one more thing. He paused, lowering his voice. There are a lot of people here today. Watch your image. Don't embarrass me. Dress properly, mind what you say. Got it? Those words cut straight through me like a knife. What did he mean by don't embarrass him? In the 4 years since I married into this family, when had I ever not walked on eggshells? But I said nothing. I only nodded. Because I knew it wouldn't matter. In his heart, his mom and his sister would always come first. I was nothing more than a decorative extra. Felix. Gloria spotted her son and immediately waved him over. Come take a look at the gift I prepared for your sister. Isn't it gorgeous? Felix walked over. When he saw the necklace, his brows knit slightly. Mom, this must have cost a fortune. The company's cash flow has been a bit tight lately. Oh, stop worrying about that. Gloria cut him off impatiently, waving her hand. This is my personal money. It has nothing to do with the company. Besides, Luna's marrying into the Harris family. You know how big they are in Chicago real estate? This alliance will only benefit the business, not hurt it. My heart skipped a beat. So that was it. This wedding had been a business deal from the very beginning. No wonder Gloria spared no expense. No wonder she treated it like the event of a lifetime. Mom's right, Felix nodded, clearly agreeing. Then this necklace. Don't worry. I've thought it through. Gloria patted his shoulder, calculation clear in her tone. I'll put the necklace away before the ceremony starts. Something this valuable, if it goes missing, that would be a real problem. These days, you never know what kind of people are around. You can't be too careful. As she said that, she suddenly turned to look at me, her eyes filled with open suspicion. Hazel, stay away from this necklace later. You hear me? Don't keep hovering around here for no reason. I don't want things getting messy if something happens. I froze, my face burning with humiliation. Mom, Enough. Gloria cut me off, her voice sharp and cold. I'm saying this for your own good. If something goes missing, you wouldn't be able to clear your name no matter what you said. Know your place, okay? The guests nearby exchanged meaningful looks. Some whispered to each other, some leaned in to gossip, others stared at me with strange expressions. It felt like I'd been slapped across the face in public. Felix stood there in silence. He didn't even look at me. His silence hurt more than any accusation. I clenched my handbag so tightly my nails dug into my palm, the pain almost enough to bring me to tears. Mom, don't talk about her like that. Luna suddenly spoke up, her voice soft and soothing, as if she were playing peacemaker. Hazel isn't that kind of person. I trust her. But the more she said it, the stranger everyone's looks became. Because everyone could hear what she really meant. Even if Hazel isn't that kind of person, it's still better to be careful. I took a deep breath and forced a stiff smile. Mom's right. I'll be careful. I'm going to the restroom for a moment. With that, I turned and walked away. I couldn't stay there any longer. I was afraid that if I stayed even one more second, I would completely fall apart. Row 3. I hid inside the hotel restroom, locked the door, and finally let the tears fall. Why? Why did I have to endure this kind of humiliation? What had I done wrong? From the very first day I married into the Cole family, I'd lived like a live-in maid, catering to everyone. Gloria nitpicked my cooking, looked down on my education, criticized the way I dressed. I swallowed it all. Felix was cold and distant, sometimes not coming home for an entire month. I swallowed that too. But today, right in front of all those people, she actually implied I would steal? What exactly was I to them? Suddenly, there was a knock on the restroom door. Hazel, are you in there? It was Luna's voice, gentle and full of concern. I hurriedly wiped away my tears, took a few deep breaths, adjusted my expression, and opened the door. Luna stood outside, still wearing that soft, polite smile. She had already taken off the necklace and was idly playing with it in her hand, the diamonds flashing harshly under the lights. Hazel, don't take it to heart, she said, her voice coated in fake sympathy. My mom's just like that, sharp tongue, soft heart. She didn't mean to target you. You know how much that necklace means to her, so she got a little carried away. I looked at the $12 million necklace in her hand and suddenly felt like it was all a joke. Not targeting me? Then what was that scene earlier in front of everyone? I know, I said flatly without a trace of emotion. Do you need something else? I'd like to be alone for a while. Oh? Are you really upset? Luna stepped closer, sounding surprised. I was worried you might misunderstand, so I came to explain. Don't take it too seriously. My mom was just nervous about the necklace. $12 million. Anyone would be, right? As she spoke, she deliberately waved the necklace in front of me. Hazel, don't you think it's gorgeous? Look at this center stone. 10 carats. You won't find another one like it anywhere in the city. I stared at the quail egg-sized diamond, bitterness rising in my chest. It's beautiful, I replied half-heartedly. Of course it is. Luna beamed, her eyes sparkling with pride. It's a South African blood diamond. Just the center stone alone is 10 carats, and all these smaller diamonds together add up to several more. Mom said it's the most expensive piece of jewelry she's ever bought. No exceptions. As she spoke, her eyes never left my face, as if she were waiting for a reaction. A wave of discomfort washed over me, like I was being sized up. "Luna, shouldn't you head back?" I said, my tone noticeably distant. "The ceremony's about to start, and you still need to change." "Oh, no rush." She waved her hand, her voice suddenly turning pointed. "By the way, Hazel, there's something I wanted to ask you." "What is it?" She leaned in slightly, lowering her voice, quiet yet intentionally clear. "Hazel, things between you and my brother, are they really okay? I mean, are you two still getting along?" I froze. How was I supposed to answer that? "We're fine," I said against my better judgment, my voice drifting unsteadily. "Really?" Luna stared straight into my eyes, a knowing smile curling at the corner of her lips. "Because I've heard my brother hasn't been coming home much lately. And I also heard there's a female secretary around him, apparently quite pretty." My chest tightened, my hands unconsciously clenching. "He's busy with work." "Busy or not, disappearing for a whole month is a bit much, don't you think?" Luna sighed, putting on a show of concern. "Hazel, let me be honest with you. My brother was spoiled by our mom growing up. He's got a temper and high standards. If you're too soft with him, he'll only take you less and less seriously." I stayed silent, listening. "And another thing," she continued, her concern sounding rehearsed. "You should try harder with my mom, too. She's an elder. You're supposed to give in a little, right? Besides, once you give the Cole family a son, her attitude toward you will definitely improve. You've been married into the family for 4 years now, and there's still no news. That's honestly hard to justify." Her words pierced straight into my heart like a thorn. A son. Always a son. As if a woman's only value in this family was bearing children. "I understand," I said coldly, impatience clear in my voice. "You should go back. Don't keep your mom waiting." Seeing my expression darken, Luna didn't push further. She turned and walked out, but glanced back at me before leaving, a flicker of barely concealed triumph flashing through her eyes. I stood alone in the restroom, staring at my haggard reflection in the mirror, feeling like a stranger to myself. These past 4 years, how had I even survived them? And how much longer was I supposed to endure this life? Love? 04. The wedding ceremony began at 2 in the afternoon. When the wedding march played, Luna linked arms with her father and slowly walked down the red carpet toward the groom waiting at the end of the stage. The ballroom erupted in thunderous applause and cheers. I stood in a corner, watching the grand spectacle, my emotions tangled and heavy. 4 years ago, when Felix and I got married, Gloria despised my family for being poor. She wouldn't even allow a proper wedding, just 5 tables hastily set up in a hotel banquet room. That day, I wore nothing more than a simple white dress. I didn't even have a wedding gown. And now, my sister-in-law's wedding was this extravagant. Gloria had practically invited every social elite in Chicago to witness it. That was the difference. "Ladies and gentlemen, today is a beautiful day." The host's enthusiastic, sentimental voice echoed through the hall. I stared at the newlyweds on stage and drifted off without realizing it. I wasn't sure how much time passed before the ceremony finally ended. Guests began taking their seats, and servers started bringing out the dishes. Just as I was about to return to my table, Gloria suddenly called out to me. "Hazel, come here." Her tone was unmistakably commanding. I walked over, doing my best to stay calm. "What is it?" She pulled me into a secluded corner and took the velvet jewelry box out of her Hermes bag. "I need to go change my outfit. You hold on to this necklace for me. Don't lose it, do you hear me?" I instinctively stepped back, alarm bells going off in my head. "Mom, maybe I shouldn't. Didn't you just tell me to stay away from the necklace?" "I said take it, so take it." Gloria snapped impatiently, her eyes leaving no room for argument. "The ceremony's over, and Luna doesn't need to wear it anymore. I'll be back after I change. You stay right here, and don't go anywhere, understood? Remember, do not wander off." With that, she shoved the jewelry box into my hands and walked away, her heels clicking sharply against the floor until the sound faded. I held the heavy box, a suffocating bitterness rising in my chest. Just moments ago, she'd warned me in front of everyone to stay far away from the necklace, and now she was forcing me to hold it for her. The contradiction was obvious. Then it hit me. This was exactly her tactic. If anything happened to the necklace, she could pin the blame on me without hesitation. I let out a quiet sigh and found a seat, the box still clutched in my hands. The ballroom buzzed with chatter and clinking glasses. One exquisite dish after another was served. Sitting in the corner, staring at the small box in my lap, I felt deeply uneasy. I couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was about to happen. Hazel? A male voice suddenly spoke beside me, tinged with concern. I looked up to see Felix's cousin, Jasper, standing there. Jasper? I greeted him with a nod. Among the Cole family, Jasper was one of the few who treated me kindly. He'd studied abroad and had a more open-minded outlook. Why are you sitting here alone? He took a seat next to me, concern evident in his voice. Where's Felix? I haven't seen him around. He's over there with the Harris family, I said, a trace of resignation in my tone. Jasper glanced at the jewelry box in my hands and frowned slightly. What's that? My mother-in-law asked me to hold on to it, I said quietly, bitterness slipping into my voice. It's Luna's diamond necklace. The $12 million one? Oh, that one. Jasper let out a low whistle, a complicated look crossing his face. Aunt Gloria really went all out, but handing something this valuable to you, she must really trust you. I gave a bitter smile and said nothing. Trust? She was setting a trap. Jasper studied my expression and seemed to sense something was off. He sighed and lowered his voice. Hazel, you and Felix, are things okay lately? I've noticed he hasn't been home much. Are there problems between you two? I froze, a wave of sourness flooding my chest. We're fine, I said against my heart, my voice trembling slightly. If you ever need to talk, you can come to me, he said sincerely, patting my shoulder. We're family, after all. No need to hold back. I know my aunt can be harsh sometimes. Just don't let it get to you too much. I forced a smile, my eyes stinging. Thank you, Jasper. Just then, a sudden stir rippled through the ballroom. Whispers spread, growing louder by the second. I looked up and saw Gloria returning after changing. She was wearing a burgundy cheongsam, her makeup flawless, chatting cheerfully with several well-dressed women. She looked to be in an excellent mood. Hazel! She waved at me from across the room, her tone sharp and commanding. Bring the necklace over. I want to show it to Mrs. White and the others. I stood up quickly and walked over with the jewelry box in hand. For no clear reason, my heart started racing. Gloria took the box and casually opened it. The next second, her face drained of color. She froze, completely rigid. Where's the necklace? She screamed, her voice shrill and piercing. Where is my necklace? My $12 million necklace? My heart dropped straight into my stomach. It felt like the world was collapsing. What did she mean? I rushed closer and looked inside. The box was empty. The $12 million diamond necklace was gone. That's impossible. I stood there in shock, my mind completely blank. It was just here. I never even opened the box. What did you say? Gloria grabbed my collar, her whole body shaking. When I put the necklace in the box and handed it to you, it was right there. How could it disappear? Where did you hide it? Guests nearby rushed over, voices overlapping in confusion. What happened? What's going on? Why is Gloria so upset? Gloria pointed at me with a trembling finger, fury filling her voice. It was her. She stole my necklace. The $12 million diamond necklace. She stole it. Oh, 5. In that moment, it felt like my entire world collapsed. The room spun, my ears rang, and everything blurred. Mom, please don't say that. I panicked, my voice cracking. I really didn't take it. I never even opened the box. Didn't take it? Gloria's voice shot up, sharp enough to pierce my ears. Then why is my necklace gone? You were holding the jewelry box the whole time. If it wasn't you, who else could it be? Tell me, where did you hide it? But I really didn't touch the box. Stop lying. She cut me off and turned to the surrounding guests, her voice filled with accusation. Everyone heard me. I personally put the necklace in the box and handed it to her. Now it's gone. Of course she stole it. I treated this woman so well, and this is how she repays me, by stealing from me. Whispers erupted around us, crashing over me like waves. No way. She actually stole something? She looks pretty harmless though. You never know. Looks can be deceiving. She always seemed quiet. Could this be a mistake? Who knows? Maybe she needed the money. $12 million. That's enough for a lifetime. I heard her family isn't well off. Maybe she did it for the cash. Each word felt like a knife, cutting deeper and deeper into my heart. I didn't! I cried, tears pouring down, my voice filled with despair. I swear I didn't take it. I swear. Then where is the necklace? Gloria screamed hysterically, her whole body shaking. Say it. Where is it? Where did you hide it? Speak. I opened my mouth, but no words came out, because I didn't know either. I had never opened that box. Just then, Felix pushed his way through the crowd. He looked immaculate in his suit, his expression dark and stern. What's going on? He asked impatiently, frowning. Felix, you're finally here. Gloria grabbed his arm, her voice trembling with grievance. Your girl stole the necklace I gave Luna. That was $12 million. You have to stand up for me. You have to. Felix looked at me, his gaze icy, devoid of any warmth. Where's the necklace? I don't know. I sobbed, tears streaming down my face. I really don't know. I never opened the box. You don't know? His voice grew colder, each word cutting like ice. My mom handed it to you with the necklace inside. Now it's gone, and you say you don't know? Do you honestly expect me to believe that? But I really didn't take it. My voice shook as I stood on the edge of breaking apart. Then explain this, he said, stepping closer, suspicion and indifference in his eyes. How did the necklace disappear? Did you hide it while no one was watching? Were you planning to sell it? I stared at the man in front of me, the man I had loved for 4 years, the man I had built a marriage with. And now he was looking at me like I was a thief. He didn't believe me. He would rather believe I'd steal than believe I was innocent. Felix. My voice trembled, my heart already numb. Do you really think I would steal? Is that the kind of person I am to you? He didn't answer, but his silence said everything. In that instant, something inside me shattered completely. So you don't believe me either, is that it? I let out a bitter laugh through my tears, the sound hollow and broken. Then tell me, why would I steal this necklace? Am I desperate for money? Your family may not treat me well, but you've never shorted my living expenses. What good would stealing this do me? Who would I even sell it to? Maybe you plan to sell it, Gloria said coldly, her eyes full of contempt. $12 million is enough to set you up for life. With how poor your family is, maybe you wanted the money to support them. I was so angry I could barely breathe, my chest heaving violently. Just then, Luna walked over. She had been backstage changing dresses and rushed over after hearing the commotion. Her bridesmaid, Iris, followed behind her. What's going on, Mom? Luna asked, putting on an anxious expression. Luna, I'm so sorry. Gloria threw her arms around her daughter, crying dramatically. The necklace I bought for you, it was stolen by Hazel. $12 million. I saved for so long to buy that for you. Luna's face changed instantly, her eyes widening. What? The $12 million diamond necklace? Gloria sobbed. I asked her to hold it for a moment, and now it's gone. She must have stolen it. She was jealous of you. That's why she did this. Luna turned to look at me, her face full of disbelief, yet there was a flicker of something else, something smug, hidden deep in her eyes. Hazel, how could you do this? That was Mom's wedding gift to me. I looked at her heartbroken expression and suddenly felt like laughing. Just that morning, she'd been trash-talking me in the dressing room. Now she was playing the victim perfectly. What acting skills. I didn't steal it, I said slowly, each word firm and clear. I swear I didn't take that necklace. Heaven as my witness, if I did, may I pay the price. Still lying. Gloria shook with rage, her finger trembling as she pointed at me. Felix, call the police. Have them arrest her and make her hand it over. Call the police? My mind went blank. Mom? I looked at Gloria, despair flooding my voice. Are you really going to do this to me? Are we not family anymore? Family? Gloria sneered, disgust written all over her face. You do something wrong and expect no one to say anything? I'm calling the police right now. I'll have you arrested and locked up for good. Wait, I cried out, clinging to my last shred of hope. I really didn't take it. Then let's check the security cameras. There are cameras everywhere here. Just pull the footage. If it was really me, I'll accept any punishment. Gloria froze for a split second, her expression stiffening. The guests around us nodded in agreement. That's right, check the cameras. Exactly. One look and we'll know. You can't wrong an innocent person. Yeah, what if it really wasn't her? But Gloria suddenly snapped, her voice turning even sharper. Check what cameras? My necklace is gone right now. You need to hand it over immediately. Mom's right, Felix said flatly, nodding. Hazel, give the necklace back now and we can pretend this never happened. But if you keep arguing, don't blame me for being ruthless. Once you're taken in, it won't be this simple. I looked at him, despair flooding my chest like icy water. So in his eyes, I didn't even deserve the chance to prove my innocence. Fine. I wiped away my tears, my voice resolute. Since you're all convinced I stole it, then call the police. I want the truth uncovered. I want them to investigate this properly. Felix frowned, clearly not expecting that. Felix, stop wasting time with her. Gloria pulled out her phone, her hands shaking. I'm calling 911 right now. In front of everyone, she dialed the number. The atmosphere in the ballroom instantly froze. No one spoke. All eyes were fixed on us, waiting for what would happen next. 06. 10 minutes later, 2 police officers arrived at the banquet hall. The atmosphere froze instantly, as if the air itself had solidified. The guests stepped back one after another, clearing a path. Whispers rose and fell around the room. Who reported the incident? One of the officers, a young man, asked sternly. I did. Me. Gloria rushed forward at once, her voice full of grievance. Officer, thank goodness you're here. My diamond necklace was stolen. It's worth $12 million. You have to help me get it back. The young officer took out a notebook and pen. Please describe exactly what happened. Gloria immediately recounted the story, adding embellishments along the way, painting me as a greedy thief. In the end, she pointed straight at me, her voice burning with anger. It was her. I gave her the jewelry box to hold, and then the necklace disappeared. She must have stolen it. She definitely hid it somewhere. The officer turned to me, his gaze sharp and assessing. Do you have anything to say? I didn't steal it. I forced my voice to stay calm, though my emotions were in chaos. My mother-in-law did give me the box to hold, but I never opened it. From beginning to end, I never touched it. When she came back and opened the box herself, the necklace was already gone. I truly don't know where it went. She's lying. Gloria screamed, her shrill voice piercing the air. When I handed her the box, the necklace was still inside. She must have opened it when I wasn't looking and taken it. Ma'am, please calm down, the officer said coolly. We'll investigate this thoroughly. He turned back to me, his eyes sharp. You said you didn't open the box. From the moment you received it until now, where did you go? What did you do? Was there anyone who can testify for you? I searched my memory, my mind racing. After I got the box, I sat in the corner. Jasper came over and spoke to me for a bit, and then my mother-in-law returned. I stayed in that seat the entire time. I never left. Who is Jasper? The officer asked. My cousin, Felix answered coldly. Have him come over. Jasper stepped out of the crowd, his expression serious. I'm here. The officer looked at him carefully. Is what she said true? It is, Jasper said firmly, nodding. I spoke with Hazel for a few minutes. She was holding the box the whole time, and I can confirm she never opened it. She also never left her seat. Gloria immediately exploded in fury. You're all in this together. Of course he'd testify for her. They must have planned this. Gloria, calm down, the officer warned. Since she claims she didn't take it, we'll need to conduct a body search. This is standard procedure. I nodded at once, almost desperate. That's fine. Search me. I don't have the necklace on me at all. Gloria sneered. Search her? She must have hidden it already. She's not stupid. Why would she keep it on her? Then where do you think she hid it? The officer asked impatiently. Well, Gloria faltered, unable to answer. If you suspect a specific location, tell us, the officer said firmly. For now, we'll proceed with the search. Please cooperate. A female officer approached and motioned for me to follow her. I went with her into a small meeting room, my heart pounding with both fear and hope. She had me remove my bag, coat, and shoes. She searched thoroughly, my hair, pockets, seams of my clothes, leaving nothing unchecked. She even checked my undergarments. Finally, she shook her head decisively. No, there are no valuables on her. I let out a long breath, feeling as if my body had suddenly become lighter. We returned to the banquet hall. The female officer shook her head at her colleague. No necklace found. She has nothing on her. Gloria's face darkened, turning ashen. How is that possible? She must have hidden it somewhere. She definitely hid it. Then where? The officer pressed, clearly irritated. I don't know. Gloria was panicking now, her whole body trembling. All I know is that the necklace was given to her and now it's gone. It has to be related to her. Ms. Gloria, without evidence, we can't arrest someone, the officer said calmly. How about this? We check the surveillance footage. Yes. Check the cameras. I spoke up immediately, my voice urgent. The surveillance will prove everything. It'll prove I'm innocent. But at that moment, Felix suddenly spoke, his voice icy. Wait. Everyone turned toward him. The hall fell silent. He walked up to me, his eyes colder than ice, devoid of any warmth, as if he were looking at a stranger. Hazel, I'll ask you one last time. Where is the necklace? As long as you tell me now, I can let this go. I looked into his eyes and felt my heart turn to ash, as though I'd fallen into a bottomless abyss. I already told you. I didn't take it. I said each word slowly, filled with both resolve and despair. Fine, he nodded, then turned to the officers, his voice flat and emotionless. Officers, please take her away. I trust you'll find the truth. This matter must be fully investigated. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He was really letting the police take me away? He was my husband. We'd been married for 4 years. Did he truly not believe me at all? Felix. My voice trembled as tears streamed down my face. Are you really doing this to me? Aren't we husband and wife? You don't trust me at all? He said nothing, just turned his face away, refusing to look at me. That single gesture hurt more than any words, sharper than any blade. I suddenly laughed until tears fell, bitter and desolate. So this was my worth in his heart. Less than a necklace. So this was marriage. So this was love. All right, I'll go with you. I said to the officers, my voice resolute. But I demand that the surveillance be checked. I will prove my innocence. I want everyone to see whether I took it or not. That is your right, the officer nodded professionally. Just then, the hotel's security manager rushed in, drenched in sweat, his face pale. Gloria, there's been an issue with the surveillance room. What issue? Gloria snapped impatiently. The footage from 2 to 3 this afternoon. The manager wiped his sweat nervously. It malfunctioned. The system failed, and nothing was recorded during that period. We're not sure why? What? My mind went blank. It felt like the sky had collapsed. The cameras? Broken? At this exact moment? How could it be broken? Gloria screamed furiously. What kind of hotel is this? Such important surveillance and it just breaks? We're very sorry. The manager looked miserable. It may have been a system failure. We'll fix it as soon as possible. Then what now? Gloria was shaking with rage. Without surveillance, how do we prove she stole it? The 2 officers exchanged a helpless look. The younger one spoke seriously. Since the surveillance is unavailable, we'll have to investigate through other means. Ms. Jiang, you'll need to provide proof of purchase for the necklace, as well as detailed information, such as diamond certification. Proof. Gloria froze, her expression stiffening. I'll have to go home and look for it. In that case, the officer said calmly, Ms. Hazel, although there's no evidence proving you took the necklace, there's also no evidence proving your innocence. To cooperate with the investigation, we'll need you to come with us for further questioning. I went numb. My mind emptied completely. No proof I took it, yet they were still taking me away? What kind of logic was this? But I knew that in this situation, I had no choice. All right, I'll go with you, I said quietly, my voice hollow with despair. Gloria let out a smug, victorious sneer. Let's see how long you can keep lying once you're at the station. One of the officers took out a pair of handcuffs. Cold metal touched my wrist. I closed my eyes, surrendering myself to fate. At that moment, I felt my life was truly over. 4 years of marriage, 4 years of grievance, 4 years of endurance, and this was how it ended. But just as the handcuffs were about to snap shut, wait! A voice suddenly rang out, shattering the deathly silence of the hall. Everyone froze and turned toward the sound. I opened my eyes and saw Jasper stepping out of the crowd, his expression grave. There was a firm resolve in his gaze. Jasper, what are you doing? Felix frowned, his voice filled with displeasure. Trying to plead for her? She stole something. She has to pay the price. Jasper ignored him and walked straight up to the officers. Officer, he said firmly, I think you should conduct a more thorough search. You can't convict someone this easily. Oh? The younger officer looked puzzled. Do you have a new lead? Because I just remembered an important detail, Jasper said meaningfully. When Hazel was holding the box, someone came over to speak with her. That person was very close to the box and had every opportunity to tamper with it. Who? Everyone tensed, eyes fixed on him. Jasper turned slowly, his gaze locking onto someone in the crowd. He raised his hand and pointed. Her. All eyes followed his finger. The entire banquet hall fell dead silent, because the person Jasper was pointing at was someone no one had ever expected. And what happened next left everyone present utterly speechless. The air seemed to freeze. Time itself seemed to stop. Everyone stared in disbelief because the person Jasper pointed to was 07. Jasper's finger pointed steadily toward a spot in the crowd. At that instant, the entire banquet hall fell into a deathly silence. Everyone followed the direction of his finger, and their gazes landed on a woman wearing a pink bridesmaid dress. Iris. What? Iris's face changed abruptly, her voice sharp and shrill. Jasper, what nonsense are you talking about? When did I ever go near that box? Don't accuse me out of nowhere. But Jasper's gaze did not waver in the slightest. He looked at Iris, his voice calm yet resolute. Shortly after Aunt Gloria went to change her clothes, you walked over to Hazel and said you wanted to ask where the restroom was. You were holding your clutch at the time, and you were very close to the jewelry box. I remember it clearly, because I was sitting right next to Hazel. You're lying. Iris screamed, her whole body trembling. I never went near her at all. This is slander! On what grounds do you say I took the necklace? I never said you took it, Jasper replied lightly, a hint of mockery in his tone. I only said you had the opportunity to get close to the box. As for whether you touched it or not, why not let the officer search you and find out? Exactly. I suddenly snapped out of it, my voice filled with hope. If there's going to be a search, why not search everyone who came near the box? That's only fair. The two officers exchanged a glance. The younger one nodded. This gentleman makes a valid point. Since this lady had access to the stolen item, she should indeed cooperate with the investigation. He turned to Iris, his tone firm. Ma'am, please cooperate with our search. Why should I? Iris became hysterical, completely losing her usual elegance. On what grounds do you get to search me? I didn't steal anything. I'm Luna's bridesmaid. How could I possibly steal her things? If you didn't take it, why are you afraid to be searched? I suddenly spoke up, my voice edged with sarcasm. I let them search me, and they found nothing. If you're innocent too, what are you scared of? Provoked by my words, Iris's face darkened even further. Whispers began to ripple through the guests. Yeah, since she already got searched, Iris should cooperate too. She's reacting so strongly. Could she be guilty? I think it's better to search her, just to avoid wronging an innocent person. At that point, even Gloria couldn't stay seated. She looked at Iris, suspicion flickering in her eyes. Iris, just let them search you. If you didn't take it, then there's nothing to worry about. Aunt Gloria. Iris's voice cracked as tears welled up. She was on the verge of collapse. Why are you doubting me too? I'm Luna's best friend. How could I ever do something like that? Then prove it to everyone. Luna suddenly spoke, her voice carrying a trace of coldness. She stepped away from the groom and looked at her best friend, her expression complicated. Iris, if you really didn't take it, let them search you. Otherwise, what will people think? Iris looked at Luna, hurt flashing through her eyes. Luna, even you don't believe me. It's not that I don't believe you, Luna replied, her tone strangely detached. I just want to prove your innocence. After all, the necklace really is missing. Iris stood frozen, her face alternating between pale and flushed. She clutched her handbag tightly, her knuckles turning white. Finally, under everyone's gaze, she slowly loosened her grip. Fine, search me then. Her voice carried a sense of hopeless surrender. I didn't take it anyway. Search however you like. The female officer stepped forward and took Iris's clutch. But the moment she opened it, everyone sucked in a sharp breath. Inside the delicate Chanel handbag lay a diamond necklace. The main diamond was as large as a quail egg, surrounded by countless smaller diamonds. Under the lights, it sparkled with blinding brilliance. It was the very diamond necklace worth $12 million. The entire banquet hall erupted. My God, it really was with her. She actually stole it. That's terrifying. She looks so refined. Looks really are deceiving. Gloria was completely stunned, staring at the necklace with wide eyes. After a long moment, she finally reacted, her voice piercing. Iris, you actually dared to steal my necklace. You thief. You shameless thief. Iris's face turned ghostly pale, her whole body shaking. She stared at the necklace in her bag, disbelief filling her eyes. No, that's impossible. I didn't take it. I didn't put it there. Her voice trembled as she teetered on the brink of collapse. Someone set me up. Someone must have put the necklace into my bag. You're still denying it? Gloria shook with rage and lunged forward, trying to strike her. You thief! I trusted you enough to let you be Luna's bridesmaid, and you stole my things! Do you have any conscience at all? The two officers quickly restrained Gloria. The younger one turned to Iris. Ma'am, you'll need to come with us. The evidence is clear, and you must cooperate with our investigation. No! Iris screamed, despair flooding her voice. It wasn't me. Really, it wasn't me. Someone framed me. Suddenly, she turned to Luna, desperation filling her eyes. Luna, believe me. I really didn't take it. We've been friends for so many years. You should know what kind of person I am. But Luna only looked at her coldly, her face utterly expressionless. No emotion could be read in her eyes. Iris, the evidence is right here. How do you expect me to believe you? Her voice was icy, devoid of warmth. Iris froze, staring at her best friend in disbelief. Luna, you. Take her away. Felix spoke at last, his voice cold. People like this will only ruin Luna's wedding if they stay. The officer stepped forward and took out the handcuffs. But at that moment, Iris completely broke down. She screamed, shoved the officers aside, and rushed toward Luna. Do you dare say it wasn't you? Her voice was hysterical, her eyes bloodshot. Luna, do you dare swear that you didn't put the necklace into my bag? As soon as those words left her mouth, the banquet hall fell silent once more. Everyone stood frozen, staring at the two women in disbelief. Luna's expression changed instantly, turning stiff and unnatural. What nonsense are you talking about? Her voice wavered, lacking its earlier composure. Why would I frame you? Are you out of your mind? Because you're jealous of me. Iris screamed, tears streaming down her face. You've always been jealous of me. Jealous that I'm prettier than you, that my family background is better, that I'm more popular. Ever since college, you've been jealous of me. You're insane. Luna's voice rose sharply, her face darkening. Me? Jealous of you? Who do you think you are? I, Luna, would be jealous of you? Yes, on the surface you acted like my friend, but behind my back you were always scheming against me. Iris's voice overflowed with hatred, her eyes red. In college, you deliberately introduced the guy I liked to someone else. After we started working, you talked badly about me behind my back and got me fired. And now, you're trying to send me to prison. Luna, how can your heart be so black? The guests around them looked utterly shocked. Murmurs spread rapidly. No way. Would Luna really do something like that? You really can't tell. She always seems so gentle. Skay, you really never know a person's true face. Even Gloria's expression changed. She looked at her daughter, doubt flickering in her eyes. Luna, is what she's saying true? Mom? Luna panicked, her voice full of grievance. Why are you doubting me too? She's just talking nonsense now. She got caught stealing and is trying to drag me down with her. You can't believe her. But Iris laughed until tears streamed down her face. The laughter was bitter and desperate. Luna, are you done acting yet? She wiped away her tears, her voice suddenly eerily calm. Do you really think I'm that stupid? From the very beginning, I knew you were plotting against me. She turned to the guests, her voice filled with grim resolve. Do you know? This morning, Luna deliberately called me into the makeup room and told me her mom had prepared a diamond necklace worth $12 million for her. She went into incredible detail, how many carats the main diamond had, how many smaller diamonds surrounded it. She sneered, mockery flashing in her eyes. At the time, I thought it was strange. Why would she go out of her way to tell me all that? Later, she asked me to help hold her bag, and I didn't think much of it. But now I see it was all planned from the start. You're lying. Luna's voice trembled with panic, her face turning deathly pale. When did I ever ask you to hold my bag? Stop slandering me! Is that so? Iris looked at her coldly, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Then do you dare let the police check your makeup room? Check the surveillance there? Luna's face drained of all color. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. 08. I stood to the side watching the farce unfold, and suddenly everything became clear. So this had been a setup from the very beginning. A carefully designed trap. It was just that, in the end, the one who fell into it wasn't the person they had intended. Check the surveillance footage. I spoke suddenly, my voice frighteningly calm. Since the banquet hall cameras are broken, pull the footage from the dressing room. I want to see who's really lying. Luna froze the moment she heard that. She looked at Gloria, panic flashing through her eyes. Mom, But by then, Gloria had caught on too. She stared at her daughter, disbelief written all over her face. Luna, you didn't actually, did you? I didn't. Luna screamed, her voice filled with terror. Mom, you have to believe me. I really didn't frame Iris. She stole it herself. But the more she protested, the stranger everyone's looks became. The two police officers exchanged a glance. The younger one spoke. I think checking the footage is the best option. That's fair to everyone. He turned to the hotel manager, his tone firm. Please pull up the dressing room surveillance. The manager wiped his sweat and nodded repeatedly. Of course. I'll arrange it right away. The wait felt unbearably long. The entire banquet hall sank into an eerie silence. Everyone held their breath, waiting for the truth. 10 minutes later, the hotel manager returned with a staff member holding a tablet. Officer, we've got the footage. The officer took the tablet and began playing the video. On the screen, Luna was sitting in the dressing room, with Iris standing beside her. Luna said something, then picked up a Chanel clutch from the table and handed it to Iris. Iris took the bag and placed it on the sofa beside her. The two continued chatting. After a while, Luna suddenly said she needed to use the restroom. She stood up, and as she passed the sofa, her hand paused on Iris's bag for a few seconds. The movement was quick, but the camera caught it clearly. Then she walked out of the frame. When she returned, there was a smug smile on her face. That's enough. The officer paused the video and looked up at Luna. Miss Lu, do you have anything to explain? Luna's face turned deathly pale. She trembled all over. Her lips parted, but no words came out. Gloria finally reacted. She stared at her daughter, eyes wide with disbelief. Luna, how could you do something like this? Mom, Luna burst into tears, her voice full of despair. I didn't mean to, I just wanted to teach Iris a lesson. I never thought it would turn out like this. Teach her a lesson? Iris sneered, hatred blazing in her eyes. You wanted to send me to prison, didn't you? Luna, how can your heart be so vicious? The murmurs around us grew louder. My God, so the thief was the bride herself. That's terrifying, framing her own friend. Seriously, you can't even trust friends these days. So is this wedding even happening anymore? Gloria was shaking with rage. She raised her hand and slapped Luna hard across the face. You useless thing, do you have any idea what you've done? You've completely destroyed the Cole family's reputation. Luna clutched her face, tears streaming down uncontrollably. But I laughed. I laughed until tears poured out of my eyes, because in that moment, I finally understood. This trap had been meant for me all along. It was just that something went wrong, and the person who fell into it became Iris instead. I looked at Luna, my voice colder than ice. You were planning to frame me, weren't you? Luna froze, panic flashing across her face. I don't know what you're talking about. Still pretending? I let out a cold laugh, my voice dripping with sarcasm. You had my mother-in-law hand the necklace to me for safekeeping. Then, while I wasn't paying attention, you took it and slipped it into Iris's bag. That way, when I was searched, the blame would fall on me. Isn't that right? I stepped toward her slowly, my gaze devoid of warmth. But you didn't expect Jasper to speak up, and you certainly didn't expect the police to search Iris instead. That's why your plan failed, and you exposed yourself. Luna's face turned even uglier. She trembled violently. No, that's not it. It's not like that. But the more she denied it, the guiltier she looked. The guests around us suddenly understood. So that's what happened. That's unbelievably cruel. She's her own sister-in-law. How does someone like that deserve to get married? Gloria finally turned to her daughter, disappointment filling her eyes. Luna, tell me, was Hazel right? Luna said nothing. She only lowered her head, tears falling nonstop. Her silence was the clearest answer. Gloria went weak, nearly unable to stand. She grabbed the chair beside her, her voice filled with despair. How could you do this? How could you do this? Felix walked over then. He looked at his sister, his expression complicated. Luna, you've truly disappointed me. His voice was cold, completely emotionless. Then he turned to me, guilt flashing through his eyes. Hazel, I'm sorry. I wronged you. I looked at him, feeling nothing at all. That apology came far too late, so late that my heart had already died. There's no need to apologize, I said flatly, because I won't forgive you. Felix froze, staring at me in disbelief. Hazel, from the moment you let the police take me away, it was over between us. I cut him off, my tone resolute. Felix, I've been married to you for 4 years. 4 years of enduring your coldness, your absence, your mother's cruelty, and your sister's provocations. My voice trembled as tears streamed down uncontrollably. But today, when you chose to believe I could steal rather than believe in my innocence, my heart died completely. I looked at him without a shred of attachment left. Felix, let's get a divorce. The moment those words left my mouth, the banquet hall fell silent again. Everyone stared at me in shock, unable to believe what they'd just heard. Felix's face drained of color. Hazel, calm down. I am calm. I interrupted him, my voice frighteningly firm. I've never been this calm in my life. When you let the police take me away, I finally understood. This marriage was a mistake from the very beginning. I took a deep breath, tears continuing to fall. I spent 4 years trying to earn your love, trying to be accepted by this family. In the end, I got nothing. In your eyes, I was always the woman who wasn't good enough, an outsider you could bully at will. I turned to Gloria, my voice filled with bitter irony. Mom, thank you for today. Thank you for letting me see everything clearly, for showing me exactly where I stand in this family. Gloria opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but no words came out. Her expression was complicated and ugly. I turned to leave, but Felix grabbed my arm. Hazel, listen to my explanation. There's nothing to explain. I shook his hand off, my voice final. I've said everything I needed to say. My lawyer will send over the divorce papers. This marriage ends here. With that, I walked out of the banquet hall without looking back. Behind me, Felix called out, panic in his voice. Hazel! But I didn't turn around, because I knew that if I did, I would soften again. And I had already softened for 4 years. This time, I chose to live for myself. 09. By the time I walked out of the hotel, night had already fallen. The evening breeze brushed against my face, carrying a faint chill. I lifted my head and looked up at the sky full of stars, and suddenly my heart felt much lighter, as if something heavy had finally been lifted from my shoulders. Hazel. Jasper's voice came from behind me. I turned around and saw him standing not far away, holding the bag I'd left behind in the banquet hall. Your bag. He walked over and handed it to me. Thank you. I took it and looked at him, gratitude filling my eyes. Jasper, thank you for today. If you hadn't spoken up, I might really have been wronged. Jasper shook his head, guilt in his voice. I should be the one apologizing. I noticed long ago that Luna wasn't very friendly toward you, but I never warned you. If I'd spoken up sooner, maybe none of this would have happened today. It's not your fault, I said, a sense of relief in my voice. Some things are meant to be experienced. If this hadn't happened today, I might have kept struggling in that marriage. In a way, today was a release. Jasper looked at me, his gaze complicated. You've really decided to get a divorce? Yes. I nodded without a trace of hesitation. This marriage should have ended a long time ago. I gave it 4 years. That's more than enough. Jasper was silent for a moment, then let out a sigh. So what are you going to do next? I'll find a place to stay first. I replied calmly. Then I'll get a lawyer and handle the divorce. As for the future, I'll take it one step at a time. Jasper pulled a business card from his pocket and handed it to me. This is a friend of mine. He's a very good lawyer. If you need help, you can contact him. I took the card, warmth spreading through my chest. Thank you, Jasper. No need to be so formal. He patted my shoulder gently, concern in his voice. If anything comes up, call me anytime. Even if we're not family anymore, I still consider you a friend. I nodded, my eyes growing warm. Okay. Jasper turned to head back into the hotel. After a few steps, he stopped and turned around again. Oh, and Felix, he actually still has feelings for you. Jasper. I cut him off, my tone firm. Some things once missed are missed forever. There are no what ifs and no explanations needed. Jasper looked at me for a moment. In the end, he said nothing, only nodded. Take care. You too. I watched his figure disappear through the hotel doors and took a deep breath. Then I pulled out my phone and dialed my best friend's number. Hello, Belle. It's me. Are you free right now? I need to talk to you. On the other end of the line came her surprised voice. Hazel? What's wrong? You don't sound right. My voice suddenly broke, and tears streamed down uncontrollably. Felix and I are getting a divorce. There was a few seconds of silence. Then my friend's voice came through, steady and resolute. Where are you? I'll come pick you up right now. After hanging up, I stood at the entrance of the hotel and waited. The night wind was a little cold, but my heart felt calmer than ever before. Yes, I was getting a divorce. 4 years of marriage. 4 years of grievances. 4 years of endurance. Tonight, it finally came to an end, and 3 days later, I sat in the law firm, staring at the divorce agreement on the table, my emotions tangled and hard to name. Ms. Hazel, I've already reviewed this agreement for you. Lawyer Ethan said, his tone professional and composed. From a legal standpoint, the terms the other party proposed are fairly reasonable. The house goes to you, the savings are split evenly, and there are no child custody issues. However, he paused and looked at me. Are you sure you don't want to fight for more? After all, you did contribute during the marriage, and this time the fault clearly lies with the other party's family. I shook my head. No need. I just want this marriage to end as soon as possible. I don't care about anything else. Ethan nodded and didn't press further. All right, then please sign here. I picked up the pen and signed my name on the divorce agreement. With every stroke, it felt as if something inside me was loosening. When I finished the last line, a wave of lightness washed over me. The shackles of 4 years were finally gone. All done. I set the pen down, relief evident in my voice. Ethan collected the papers and looked at me. Ms. Hazel, may I ask you a question? What is it? Do you regret it? He asked suddenly, curiosity in his eyes. Do you regret marrying Felix? Regret holding on to that marriage for 4 years? I froze for a moment, then smiled. Regret? I repeated the word and looked out the window. Outside, the sun was bright and the sky a clear, vivid blue. Maybe just a little. I regret not seeing the true nature of that marriage sooner and wasting 4 years of my youth on someone who wasn't worth it. I turned back to Ethan. But I don't regret leaving, because that decision helped me find myself again. Ethan nodded, a trace of admiration flickering in his eyes. Ms. Hazel, I've seen many women go through divorce. Some collapse afterward, while others are reborn because of it. I believe you'll be the latter. Thank you. I stood up and extended my hand. Thank you for your help these past few days. Ethan shook my hand. You're welcome. It's my job. And if you have any legal issues in the future, feel free to contact me. As I walked out of the law firm, my phone rang. It was my best friend, Belle. Hazel, did you sign the agreement? Yes, it's done. That's great. Belle's voice was bursting with excitement. Girl, from today on, you're free. Come on, your sister's treating you to a big meal to celebrate your rebirth. I laughed, though my eyes grew a little moist. All right, I met Belle at a Japanese restaurant. She was dressed in a sharp business outfit and gave me a huge hug the moment she saw me. Congratulations. You finally jumped out of that pit of fire. She patted my back, her voice full of concern. You have no idea how painful it was for me to watch you suffer in that marriage these past 4 years. So many times I wanted to tell you to get a divorce, but I was afraid you'd think I was meddling. I know, I said, tears slipping out uncontrollably. Thank you for always being there for me. Silly girl, we're sisters. No need to say thank you. Belle wiped my tears and pulled me to sit down. All right, no crying today, only smiling. We're celebrating your new life. We ordered a lot of dishes and chatted as we ate. Belle told me about her recent work, about her new boyfriend. Listening to her stories, I felt as if I'd gone back to the days before my marriage, when I was carefree, laughing and talking without worries. Oh, by the way, Belle suddenly asked, looking at me, what are your plans next? What about work? Have you found a place to live? As for work, I'm planning to take a break for a while, I said lightly. These 4 years I've been stuck at home. Now I finally have the chance to do what I want. As for housing, I've already rented a small apartment near Jiangnan Road. Jiangnan Road? Belle's eyes lit up. That's a great area, and it's close to my office, too. We can meet up all the time now. Yeah, I nodded, warmth filling my heart. Oh, and I'm thinking of signing up for some classes, learning something new. I've always wanted to study photography, but never had the time. Now I finally do. Great idea. Belle clapped her hands in approval. You should do more of what you love. Women should never pour all their energy into family alone. You need your own life, your own career, your own passions. We talked late into the night. By the time we left the restaurant, darkness had fallen. Belle walked me downstairs to my apartment and gave me a hug before leaving. Hazel, remember, you deserve better. I know, I said with a smile, my eyes firm and steady. This time, I'm going to live well, for myself. 1 month later. I sat in a cafe, flipping through the photography portfolio in my hands. Sunlight streamed in through the floor-to-ceiling windows, falling warmly across my face. Miss Hazel, your cappuccino. The barista set the cup down gently, her voice soft. Thank you. I closed the portfolio and took a sip of coffee. In the past month, my life had changed dramatically. After the divorce was finalized, I moved into the small apartment on Jiangnan Road. It wasn't big, but it was cozy. I redecorated it entirely according to my own taste, hung the paintings I loved, placed the green plants I'd grown myself. Every morning when I woke up and sunlight filtered through the curtains, I felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. This was my space. No one criticized my choices. No one looked down on my sense of style. I also signed up for a photography class, attending lessons every Wednesday and Friday. The instructor said I had real talent, that my photos had emotion and atmosphere. I took countless pictures. Morning light, evening sunsets, stray cats on street corners, elderly couples in the park. Each photograph captured my process of rediscovering the world and myself. "What are you looking at so intently?" A familiar voice sounded beside me. I looked up and saw Jasper standing by the table, a cup of coffee in his hand. "Jasper?" I was a little surprised. "What are you doing here?" "Just passing by. I saw you sitting here," he said with a smile, pointing to the seat across from me. "May I?" "Of course." I nodded. Jasper sat down and glanced at the portfolio in my hands. "Learning photography?" I nodded, satisfaction in my voice. "I signed up for a class, 2 sessions a week. It feels great. I finally have time to do something I truly enjoy." "It looks like you're doing well," he said, a hint of relief in his eyes. "You look much better than before, more alive." "Yeah." I smiled lightly. "These have been the happiest days I've had in years." Jasper nodded and fell silent for a moment. "Felix hasn't been doing very well lately," he said suddenly, hesitation in his voice. "Ever since you left, he's been pretty down. He barely manages the company anymore, locking himself in his office all day." My hand paused for a second, then I took another sip of coffee as if nothing had happened. "That was his choice," I said calmly, without the slightest ripple in my tone. "Jasper, you don't need to tell me these things. Felix and I are divorced. How he's doing has nothing to do with me." "I know," Jasper sighed. "I just feel that it's a pity for both of you. If Felix had cherished you a bit more back then, maybe things wouldn't have ended this way." "There are no ifs," I said, my gaze steady. "Some things once missed are missed forever. I won't turn back, and I don't want to." Jasper looked at me for a long moment, then finally nodded. "I understand. I won't say anything more." He stood up, took a business card from his wallet, and placed it on the table. "This is my company's card. If you ever need help with anything, feel free to contact me." "Thank you, Jasper." I took the card, warmth spreading in my chest. Jasper smiled and turned to leave. I watched his figure fade into the crowd, a quiet sense of reflection rising within me. Life is like this. Some people are destined to be nothing more than passers-by, and some, even after they leave, still leave behind traces of warmth. 2 months later, my photography work was exhibited at a small city gallery. Although it was just a newcomer showcase and not very large in scale, it meant a great deal to me. It was the first milestone of my new life. On the opening day, Belle took time off work to come support me. She wore a red dress and stood in front of my photos, clicking her tongue in admiration. "Hazel, these are amazing." She pointed at one photo. It was taken at sunset, golden light spilling over the river, an elderly man sitting by the water with a fishing rod in hand. The scene was quiet, yet full of life. "This one is my favorite," I said, satisfaction in my voice. When I took it, I suddenly felt that life could actually be very simple. You don't need too much material wealth, and you don't need everyone's approval. As long as you're doing what you love, and you're with the people you care about, that's enough. "Well said." Belle clapped her hands enthusiastically. "That's the true meaning of life." As we were talking, a voice suddenly came from behind us. "Excuse me, did you take these photos?" I turned around and saw a middle-aged man wearing glasses standing there. He was dressed in a formal suit and held a notebook in his hand. "Yes," I nodded. "And you are?" "My name is Noah. I'm the editor-in-chief of City Impressions magazine." He handed me a business card, appreciation evident in his voice. "I've just looked through your work and it's very impressive, especially these urban documentary pieces. They have real feeling." I took the card, a little overwhelmed. City Impressions was a well-known photography magazine in the city. I'd read it many times before. "Thank you for the compliment. I'd like to invite you to shoot a photo series for our magazine," Noah said sincerely. "The theme is rebirth, Stories of people and moments that represent starting over. I think your style suits this theme perfectly. I froze for a moment, unsure how to respond. Am I really qualified? I'm just a beginner. The most important thing in photography isn't technique, it's feeling, Noah said firmly. Your photos tell stories. They carry emotion. That's something many professional photographers struggle to capture. I believe you can create something special. Excitement surged through me. This was my first real job opportunity since starting over. All right, I said, taking a breath. I'm willing to try. That's wonderful. Noah smiled with satisfaction. Let's set up a time to talk in detail. Okay, I nodded. After Noah left, Belle immediately threw her arms around me. Hazel, you're incredible. It's only been 2 months and a magazine editor-in-chief is already approaching you. I still can't believe it. I was still floating in the shock, as if I were dreaming. This is what starting over feels like. Belle patted my shoulder, her eyes sparkling. When you focus on doing what you truly love, good luck naturally finds you. This is the life you were meant to live. I nodded, my eyes growing moist. Yes. This was the life I was meant to live. No more worrying about pleasing others. No more compromising myself. Just doing what I love and being with people I care about. Simple, yet fulfilling. Epilogue. 6 months later, I stood by the river, camera in hand, pressing the shutter toward the distant sunset. The river city in autumn was beautiful, fallen leaves everywhere. The sky dyed crimson by the setting sun. Over the past 6 months, I had taken on quite a few photography projects. From City Impressions' Rebirth feature to commissioned work from several other magazines. More people were seeing my work now. And more importantly, it was being recognized. But what mattered most was that I had found myself again. The Hazel who was once passionate, hopeful, and full of life. Hazel, a voice sounded behind me. I turned around and saw Felix standing a short distance away. He looked much thinner, his complexion poor, exhaustion written all over his face. Felix. I greeted him calmly without emotion. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. Ever since the divorce, I had deliberately avoided any situation where we might run into each other. Have you been doing well? He asked cautiously. Pretty well, I replied evenly. And you? I'm all right, he said, though his eyes flickered. We fell into an awkward silence. Hazel, I've been wanting to find a chance to apologize to you, he suddenly said, guilt heavy in his voice. What happened that day? It was my fault. I shouldn't have treated you like that, shouldn't have doubted you. These past 6 months, I've regretted it every single day. Let the past stay in the past. I interrupted gently. Felix, I don't blame you anymore. That incident helped me see many things clearly, and it gave me the chance to start over. In a way, I should thank you. Felix froze, looking at me with complicated emotions. Hazel, do we still have a chance? He asked suddenly, hope trembling in his voice. I know I hurt you deeply before, but I truly regret it now. I want to make things right. I want to start over. Could you give me another chance? I looked at him, my heart completely calm. Once, how desperately I had longed to hear those words, to be seen, to be cherished. Yet now that he finally said them, I felt nothing. Felix, once something is broken, it's broken, I said softly but firmly. These past 6 months, I've been living well. I have my own work, my own life, my own friends. I no longer need to depend on anyone or seek anyone's approval. I met his eyes, without a trace of attachment. Thank you for having been a part of my life, but we're no longer right for each other. I hope you can let go of the past and live well. And I wish you the chance to meet someone who truly suits you. With that, I turned and prepared to leave. Hazel, he called after me, desperation in his voice. Can you really not forgive me? I stopped, but didn't turn around. It's not that I can't forgive you, I said quietly, my voice drifting with the wind. It's that there's no need to anymore. Felix, let's each live our lives well. Then I walked away without looking back. I could hear his choked voice behind me, but I didn't turn around because I knew that if I did, my heart would soften. and I no longer wanted to soften. I walked along the riverbank, the sunset stretching my shadow long across the ground. The autumn breeze brushed through my hair. I took a deep breath, savoring the taste of freedom. The road ahead was still long, but I was no longer afraid, because this time, I had finally learned how to live for myself. L of Chapter Z.